Song for a Whale, Chapter 46. She is responsible. Think of all she did, all she figured out on her own. Grandma was in the living room talking to Mom. I'd called her and told her I'd been thinking about what we discussed on the plane. I did want to go to Bridgewood. From the upstairs game room, I had a view of the conversation if I peeked through the railing. Sure, she shouldn't have taken off like that. The whale song moved her so much she couldn't help herself. Grandma Grandma didn't sign move as in moving from one place to another, though the song did that too. She touched her heart. Mom wiped her eyes with a tissue that Grandma handed her. I always felt so left out, the way you and Dad could talk to each other, the connection you had with your deaf friends, like you have with Iris now. I'm sorry, Grandma signed. We didn't mean to leave you out, and no one means to leave Iris out either. But it's happening. I don't want to lose her if she's around other deaf people all the time. She won't need me anymore. She'll always need her mom. She's already lost, spending every day with people she can't talk to. Don't you think Iris wishes she could see the whale every day? But she didn't try to drag him back here to live with her. She helped him feel more at home. Mom didn't argue with that. If it seemed like the conversation was winding down, so I backed away from the railing and went to my room, where Mom found me a few minutes later. Grandma thinks you want to go to Bridgewood. She looked like she was trying to laugh a little, as if she wanted to add, Isn't that ridiculous? She also looked nauseated. There was my chance to back out, to pretend it was some crazy idea of Grandma's. I'd already hurt Mom so much. But then everything would go back to like it was before. All day, every school day, with no one but Mr. Charles to talk to. The thought of going to a school where I know hardly anyone was scary, but it was better than the dread I'd feel about spending my next years of school like the last ones. If Blue 55 could find happiness hanging out at a sanctuary with animals he'd never met, I could be happy at a new school. I set aside the electronics parts I was pretending to organize and sat on my bed next to Mom. The origami whale was perched on my nightstand, worse for wear from the swim in the bay. Grandma had remade it for me on the plane after I unfolded it to let it dry. She offered to make a new one on paper that wasn't faded or blurred, but I wanted to keep the one she'd made on the ship, the one that was with me when I met Blue 55. After a deep breath, I told Mom, I do want to go. I want to be around other deaf kids like Wendell, people who speak my language. I speak your language, she answered. I know, and I'm really happy you do. And that Dad sort of does. But you don't have to unless you decide to. You know it's different for deaf people. I can't keep going through the school day all alone. I think it'll be hard for you starting over with so many new people. Every day is hard. Mom rested her head in her hands, and I leaned over to put my arm around her. I tapped her leg so she'd look at me again, even though it might give away that I was watching the conversation downstairs. I told her, You'll never lose me. I'll always need my mom.